Now at 6, revelers make their way to Carthage for the annual Maple Leaf Parade. But what does the weather hold? Plus, folks in Joplin make feeding the community an ongoing priority. And
Leadership Kansas is a program that takes people from all across the state of Kansas and has them tour different locations to learn different strategies and takeaways from that community. And this time, they're in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and they toured the Simulation Hospital here at PSU. I'm Todd Parks and have the story of what they learned coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thousands of parade goers are headed to Carthage, Missouri this weekend. This is KOAM News. I'm Tanya Bach. Rain or shine, organizers say the show will go on. The forecast may call for rain, but that's not stopping the Carthage Maple Leaf Festival Parade from marching on. City crews say they're ready for anything Mother Nature brings, with emergency plans in place and teams monitoring conditions closely to keep everyone safe. So what can parade goers expect? Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with the answer.
Well, definitely some rain chances, but a severe threat mainly stays, as you can see tomorrow, south of I-44, even south of Joplin. So we may be in luck for at least any severe threats. Now, as we continue to go into the rest of the day, we're going to be watching as some of these storms ramp up late tonight through the next 24 hours. Current conditions, though, looking pretty good. 79 degrees out there in Joplin. Still clear skies. I mean, we're really not looking at anything to move in until after midnight tonight. Temperatures only getting down to the mid 60s. Gusty winds as well ahead of the system. Now you can see by midnight, 4 a.m., we start to see isolated storm chances. But after 8 a.m., that's when the rain really ramps up until early afternoon. Not much going on right now. A few clouds moving in. You can also see some storms already developing north of us along the front. Now, most of this is going to be, again, holding off until later on today. Severe threat for the morning, mainly hail and wind, but we're going to take a deep dive coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The government shutdown continues to impact federal workers, and that includes the Show Me State. Social Security Administration employees, for example, face tough daily choices. So do the people they serve, and people calling for Medicaid renewals, benefit deposits, or medical treatment approvals cannot get help. Processing times that should take 30 to 60 days now stretch to 12 to 16 months. Chandler McGinnis, a Social Security worker, says she's had to deliver hard news to terminally ill patients.
And people are dying before their benefits are being decided on. And it's hard because I don't have the answers for them.
Federal employees are feeling impacts also. In many cases, they work without pay, creating tough financial decisions for thousands. Union leaders estimate 30,000 federal employees in the Kansas City area will start running out of money soon. One Arkansas community has rallied around its federal employees, namely its TSA employees who are working without pay during the government shutdown. At Clinton National Airport in Little Rock, about 100 TSA agents have continued to screen passengers and maintain security since October 1st. Local restaurants now provide free breakfast and lunch to these federal workers, and that started today. Cappy Peck, who owns Trio's restaurant and serves on the Little Rock City Board, helped organize the meal program.
During the government shutdown, during these challenging times, we will answer the call and we will help.
20 restaurants have already signed up for next week's meal service. Southern Tail Brewing prepares nachos, flatbreads, and sandwiches for TSA workers. Employees can take food home and receive additional assistance from the Arkansas Food Bank. Airport officials hope other federal employees beyond TSA can benefit from the community support efforts. Well, that sense of providing for the community extends beyond federal employees here in our area. Hopeful Bites is handing out free lunch outside Joplin City Hall. Anyone can come by for a sandwich and some fruit. Hopeful Bites is a group of concerned citizens who want to showcase a sense of community. They started because of an incident last weekend with a homeless woman who was ticketed for camping.
I am, and that's how most of the group members feel too. We just started it up one day in the hopes of helping people because we know how it feels to not be helped, and we know how it feels to go hungry and to be in that situation.
Hopeful Bites will be out servicing lunch every day through October. Well, participants in Leadership Kansas have been in Pittsburgh for the last 3 days. It's a statewide program designed to enhance and motivate future leaders from various Sunflower State communities. KOAM's Ty Parks has more.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity to learn about the state, learn what things are growing and thriving in the state, and then also understanding where those barriers, where the challenges are. And each community solves those in real unique ways. And it's been a fantastic experience thus far.
Leadership Kansas is in Pittsburgh, Kansas for 3 days to learn about the area.
We want to be able to showcase that for people in other parts of the state and maybe even kind of let them know how we've done things, how we've been successful at different things, and give them, kind of a framework for how they can do that, replicate that in their community.
Leadership Kansas is a way to share ideas from a very diverse areas. The class toured the simulated hospital in Pittsburgh State University, as well as speaking to local entrepreneurs.
Companies and learning about Watco and Crossland and all the work that they're doing, and then also some of the ways the community has come together to tackle big challenges and opportunities. That's probably been the biggest thing that the takeaway thus far, is to see how a community like Pittsburgh and the region around it comes together.
For Leadership Kansas, the focus is on community problem solving.
Partners together, where they bring companies, they bring nonprofits, they bring the college, they bring community development arms together to look at an issue. Everybody brings their own unique perspective to an issue, and they bring their own assets and problem-solving capabilities to an issue. In
Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The next session of Leadership Kansas takes place in Topeka, which is also the graduation. Well, the Tigers take on the Cardinals in a rivalry renewed. KOAM sports reporter Ben McLeish is live from Carthage for the game of the week. That's coming up. But up first, hard work recognized.
As they start thinking about college, Joplin High School seniors get rewarded for their hard work. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll tell you more about it coming up.
Oklahoma's mandate requiring Bibles in every public school classroom is rescinded. The state's new superintendent, Lyndall Field, says he had no plans to enforce the rule or distribute Bibles. The mandate, which would have required educators to teach from the Bible, was put in place by Field's predecessor, Ryan Walters. It was already under a legal challenge, and Oklahoma's Supreme Court gave the new superintendent 2 weeks to decide if the mandate would remain. Walters made the Bible measure a centerpiece issue under his watch, but his aggressive approach overseeing education sparked friction with some state leaders, including the Republican governor. Nearly 600 Joplin High School seniors are receiving scholarship money through VIEW scholarships. KOAM's Kenny Foreman tells us more.
It may only be the fall, but Joplin High School seniors are already thinking about where they'll be a year from now. For the past 3 years, the school has worked to make the application process less stressful by enrolling its students in the VIEW Scholarship Program.
I remember with my three, when we started the process, we had to do all of it. And it's just so time-consuming and competitive that this is just one way we can hopefully set our kids up for success and give them a little advantage on everyone else.
The Kansas City-based program partners with several colleges who award the students scholarship amounts that are based off of GPA and ACT scores. Following the award ceremony, the students were able to talk to representatives from several of the colleges.
We're really well known for education, and our education and maybe nursing business programs as well. And we had some future educators that came up and said, we want to go to SBU. And that just, it makes my day, makes the visit worth it.
For some students, college education might not seem like an affordable reality, but the school hopes that the scholarship program provides a source of motivation for them in order to work hard and alleviate some of those financial concerns.
The ultimate goal is, if you know you're going to college, we want to assist in that process and take some of that burden away from the kids and the families and the parents, because a lot of times they don't know where to turn. But the partnership with VIEW Scholarships has really increased the opportunities for kids.
That level of support is felt by the students.
This is my first year at Joplin, but I feel like they gave me a lot of opportunities and resources that I didn't have at my old school, and they have a lot of helpful classes, and the teachers are really hands-on, and they help you guide you.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Now, Miller says she received up to $3 million in scholarship offers, the most for any student. That's according to Dr. Oliver. A little later, high school artists get some hands-on training at MSSU today.
And we have some We have some storms coming in tonight and through Saturday, so we can go ahead and take a look at our threats. Tonight, we're looking at a very, very low tornado threat, less than 2% chance, so slim to none. Now, hail and wind, we could see some small hail, about 40, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. That's not our big story for tonight. Bigger threat is going to be moving in on Saturday, where we move up to a 2 to 4% chance of a tornado, brief spin up tornado along and south of the I-44 corridor. The similar threat for hail, we go up to a golf ball size though in the same spot south of I-44, and then winds gusting 60 to 70 miles per hour. Now with 70 mile per hour wind gusts, we could see even tornado sirens going off because of straight line winds. Now that doesn't mean there'd be a tornado, but they still could siren with 70 mile per hour winds. That's the cutoff. So we want to be mindful of that as we head through Saturday. Our first round of thunderstorms moves in from about 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's our weaker threat. That's where our first round of isolated storms comes in, central and northwestern counties. Strong to low grade severe storms move in from 11 a.m. to about 4 p.m. That's our window of when these storms turn linear, which means they become a line along the cold front. Now, along the cold front, that means we're going to have mainly a gust front threat, hail, of course, and brief spin up tornadoes. But luckily for us, after this cold front passes, we get much cooler temperatures starting Saturday night down into the 40s, so it's going to feel amazing on Sunday. We just have to make it through Saturday. Now, we already have some thunderstorm chances developing along that cold front up in Kansas City. We're staying clear through most of the night tonight. We're really not expecting anything to be moving in until after about 11 p.m. tonight. You can see downtown Joplin, we still have really clear skies from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. It looks beautiful out there. Again, not much is happening until after 11 o'clock tonight. We'll get these isolated storms till about 3 to 4 a.m. Then we become a little bit more scattered. We get scattered showers, scattered thunderstorm chances. But by midday on Saturday, we go up to this, heavy rain, very widespread rain. And that's where our main threat for storms really pops in. Now, all dies down by about 7, 8 p.m. and then we're back to calm weather overnight Saturday and into Sunday. So starting off by 8:30, that line of storms that's already up in Kansas City, it fires off a little bit, tries to get some storms into southeastern Kansas, but it dies down because by this point we're getting into the very early morning hours on Saturday, not seeing a lot of instability, so those can't really continue on. By 4 a.m., the front continues to push in along I-44. We're getting some storms right ahead of that, and these, if they were later in the day, could be strong, but because they're at night and early morning, not looking at a big threat there. Now by 9 a.m., 10 a.m., these storms really start to fire off. We get some more surface heating. We warm up early in the day on Saturday, so northeastern Oklahoma, some strong storms. Main line of storms moves in, gust fronts up to 70 miles per hour, tornado threat, brief spin up tornadoes, and hail with some of these storms. After that, we're still looking at some widespread thunderstorms, but again, not a severe threat once that main line passes. But we could see 1 inch to 4 inches of rain along and south of the I-44 corridor. Now again, temperatures are going to be cooling down because of this front. 45 degrees overnight, 67 on Sunday, back into the 70s for the week. We don't warm up to the 80s until next week when we start to see temperatures and humidity kind of rising up again before another big front.
All right, and then cooler temperatures after these storms. That's
Yes.
nice too. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, still ahead, the Kansas City Chiefs get a big addition for their matchup this Sunday. Plus, the Carthage Tigers host the Webb City Cardinals in a clash of four-state powerhouses. Ben McLeish is live from David Hafner Stadium when we return.
Welcome back to KOAM News at 6. We have another thrilling night of high school football in the four states. And here at David Hafner Stadium, Carthage and Webb City prepare for our KOAM Game of the Week. The 6-1 Tigers host the 5-2 Cardinals in the penultimate matchup of the regular season. Carthage comes off one of its biggest feats of the year, a walk-off win over then 5-1 Republic. This Tiger offense is terrifying for opposing defenses. Led by starting quarterback Zane Browning, Carthage can beat you in the air or on the ground. Browning has a cannon for an arm, but he's most deadly in the red zone, where he'll take off for the end zone faster than you can say touchdown. The Cardinal offense is more one-dimensional, but boy, it's just as unstoppable. Good luck silencing the rushing attack headed by senior running back Mason Williams. One defender just won't be enough to bring him to the ground. Expect a high-scoring affair tonight between two of the most explosive offenses in the Show Me State. Kickoff is set for 7. And we've got more football coming up this weekend as the Kansas City Chiefs prepare for a divisional showdown with the Las Vegas Raiders. Voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, covers Kansas City's big addition for Week 7.
Something's missing. It was late July 2024 and the beginning of training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri. And walking down the hill is what I called the 514 area code. Number 5, Hollywood Brown, signed March 15, 2024 as an unrestricted free agent. But in the preseason injured a shoulder, leading to surgery, would not return until December 21st. Number 1, Xavier Worthy, drafted in April 2024, injured in week 1 of this year. Wide receiver Rashee Rice, ready last year for a second year that ended in week 4 with a serious knee injury and was suspended for the first 6 games of this year. It's Raiders week, but for the first time in 13 months, it's finally time to call the 514 area code on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
Kickoff for Sunday's matchup at Arrowhead Stadium is set for noon. Live from David Hafner Stadium, I'm Ben McLeish. We're back with more news after this.
We've got more news, weather, and sports headed your way this evening on our family of channels. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. Friday night football. The KOM sports team brings you highlights from some of the night's biggest matchups. Plus, Lindsay returns with your complete weekend forecast, including some storm chances and so much more on the day's biggest stories. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14, KOAM News at 10, and the Press Box on the CW. Well, high school students from across the region explore their creativity at Missouri Southern's 11th annual High School Art Day. Students work in professional studios with MSSU faculty, trying everything from painting and ceramics to digital design. The event gives students access to tools and techniques they can't get in their own schools. All right, a lot going on in the forecast.
Yes, we do. We've got storms moving in later on tonight, mostly isolated storms in the north after about 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then by 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. we're looking at a weaker round of storms. Still strong, still could produce hail and wind, but our greater threat for severe weather is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I mean, all modes of severe weather are possible with that one. And that's going to be along and south of the I-44 corridor.
And even after 4, we're still going to be getting rain.
We're still going to be getting rain until about 8 p.m.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you for watching. We'll see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.